Hi, everyone. We're live. We are waiting for the start of what should be an exciting event, the African American Sports Entertainment Group's press conference to announce its exclusive negotiating agreement with the Oakland Coliseum. So it's 10:01 a.m., 1:01 p.m., and we expect to start at some point. I am in the room. The room is noisy. That's the din you hear in the background.
Okay.
This is the culmination of work that started in 2017, initially with a fan-driven lawsuit spearheaded by that guy in the picture, Ray Bobbitt. So you can see some of the dignitaries. There's Ray Bobbitt standing with Oakland District 5 Council Member Noel Gaio, among other people. And
Like all of us, right?
we have 46 participants in the Zoom room, by the way. There's Oakland Mayor Chantal sitting next to Oakland District, at-large council member Rebecca Kaplan there. Let's see if I can.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Yeah, Kevin.
I believe we're about to get started here. So the way this is going to go is we're going to have it virtual.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started. Hey, Jordan, are we live on Zoom? Hey, Duff, you guys make sure Duff gets a seat and Robert Bob and Paul and Gay.
Nice to see you. These are mine. Sorry.
Good. Wow. All right. Bill Duffy and Gideon and Alan. Okay. So first of all, just want to thank everybody for joining us today. This is a monumental, historic opportunity for our community. This is something that has been a long time coming with respect to the city council making a decision, unanimous decision to allow an African-American led organization to engage in a project of this magnitude. So the first thing we want to do is we want to thank some people from our community who played a pivotal role, and all of our community members and our community partners. As you guys know, we met with 50 community organizations before we even submitted a proposal to the city.
Yeah.
And the reason why we did that is because we understand, because we're from here. And we understand the only way to know what to do here is to make sure that the people who live here give us the proper direction. So that was our goal and that was our objective. Want to do something before we have our distinguished elected officials speak. But first we wanted to, in celebration of Black History Month, we wanted to celebrate a few people. So let's give it up first of all for Black History Month. Oftentimes, we don't get a chance to thank people as much as we would like to. And in our case, we had the passing of Gladys Green. And so with that, she was the matriarch of East Oakland, one of our matriarchs of our community. And she was somebody who was special to all of us. So we have been so honored to have her daughter Beverly come here today. And what we want to do is have a moment of silence for Gladys Green. So if you could just bow your heads. Thank you. Pastor Langford, would you mind just a very brief prayer? Brave. Someone said, "This is the day that the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice." Come on, let's rejoice and be glad in this day. On this day in 1862, the District of Columbia abolished slavery. And let the records reflect, Mr. Cobb through the Oakland Post. So on this day, the city council and the mayor's office of Oakland has established, amen, this ground to be owned by the African American Sports Entertainment Group for the development, amen, of everything. Someone said, can anything good come out of East Oakland? As we're centered around championship baseball, football, basketball, but families that have supported not only this ground, but families that have experienced great losses. Let's pray, let's celebrate, let's thank God for this great opportunity. Thank you for the leadership of our distinguished mayor and council member. Let's give it up because they made it happen. A unanimous vote. Father God, we thank you, we praise you for this great day that we see unison, we see opportunity, we don't see competition as we do in sports, but we see freedom, God, of work, freedom, God, of housing and affordability, of business and opportunity for men and women, boys and girls, of all races and background and ethnicities. And we thank you for the opportunity and investments that are coming from the north, south, east, and west to support all 7 districts of this great city. We give you glory, we give you honor, we give you praise, and everybody go to a church in one of your local districts in this city. Amen. Praise God. Amen. So Beverly, on behalf of the AASEG and our entire community, and so many people in our community that your mother fought for. I want to give you these. Also, we have the daughter of Dorothy King here, two daughters of Dorothy King. And we want to tell them how much they meant to us. And it was so special. She was somebody that was very close to me. So with that said, I wanted to, Nina, can you come up here and grab these for your mother?
Yeah.
And next, sometimes you have to give people their flowers while they're still here.
Yeah.
And one of the safeguards and the protectors of our community is the Oakland Post.
Oh, yeah.
And the Oakland Post looks out and represents us in a way that's monumental. And it makes me almost emotional to talk about it. So with that said, we want to give Gay Cobb and Paul Cobb these flowers. And Gay Cobb, thank you for everything that you've done. The Oakland Post is a historical, monumental establishment and institution in our community. The person I'm missing, he couldn't make it, but Jeffrey P., we also are recognizing him today. With no further ado, I would like to introduce the mayor of Oakland.
Woo!
And before I say that this was a person who was monumental in this process occurring. It represented us and made sure that she did everything she could to be helpful in this process. So we want to thank her and we want to introduce her, Mayor Shane Town.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Come on. I cannot think of a better way to kick off Black History Month than being with all of you today and with AASEG here. Yes, let's give a round of applause. You know, it's very interesting what I heard earlier around what good can come out of District, well, now 6, previous 7. But this is beauty. It's about waiting for the right organization to come to ensure that they invest in the city of Oakland. And not just the city of Oakland, but invest in the people that live in this space in deep East Oakland. And we are talking about an organization that is leading Black-owned businesses, partnering with Black-owned investment firms, working to bring housing and Black-owned businesses to our town, creating jobs in East Oakland. And it's the largest development opportunity for an African-American-led group in Oakland's history. I want to say that as we work to create the jobs and the economic development here in Oakland, we are always thinking about how we can open the door for historically disenfranchised groups and the people who have been shut out for way too long, for generations. And I truly believe we are heading for an agreement to do just that. So let's break it down to talk about what we're actually here today. We're talking about new public facilities. We're talking about more retail in an underserved area and an underserved part of Oakland. We're talking about hospitality and entertainment options. We're talking about more sports. And I see our young people here today, a football team. Give our young people a round of applause. We're talking about affordable housing so that we can keep those who have lived here in Oakland for generations, that their families can continue to live here. And I want to say it again, and I've said this yesterday, I know Miss Kathy Adams heard me say this, but we want to keep our Black community here in Oakland.
There you go. All right.
And that's what we're about to do with this new administration. And not just that, but in order to keep our Black and brown communities here in the city of Oakland, we're going to need good paying jobs, right? And so we're going to be able, with this project, to actually create between 20 to 30,000 new good paying jobs so that our families, our Oakland brothers and sisters can not only live here, but they can play here. And not just that, but they can raise a family here and not have to worry about displacement. I know that we have more opportunities for everyone, and we will also have a safer community for everyone. The best way we can reduce crime is to create jobs. And this is going to bring so many jobs. And not just that, I want to say again, good union jobs as well, because we know that it is good union paid jobs that will get our families to stay here. And I truly believe that we are one Oakland. No matter all our differences, our North Star is always going to be Oakland. And if we keep Oakland as our North Star and we keep fighting together, we're going to get there. We're going to get there because we know what the real struggle is. We know what the real struggle is. The real struggle is that if you invest directly into community, which we are doing today, that's how we keep ourselves safe. If we invest in our young people, keeping them busy, putting money in their pockets. I always say, hey, if you give access to more social networks, that's how you increase your social net worth.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what we're doing today. That is what we're doing today. We are opening a whole new world for people who belong in that world. And that's all of us. It's just not for the few, for the connected, or for the wealthy. It's for all of us. And we got to start with Deep East Oakland first. I don't need no disparity study to tell me that we need to invest in Deep East Oakland. That's where we need to start. And so today we are staying committed to Deep East Oakland because that's the beauty of Oakland. That's the culture of Oakland. And this is what we're going to do in this new administration. And so I'm so honored to be with all of y'all today. And thank you so much for AASEG for having me today. And this is what community is about. Thank you.
All right. That was incredible. Thank you so much, Mayor Tom. We appreciate you. This is again historical. I was in a meeting, and we talked about the Coliseum site, and we were talking about the NFL. And Paul Cobb said, "Why don't you guys just buy the site?" And so it was just one of those things that it evolved, and now it's about revitalizing this community more than anything else. That's what it's about. It's beyond sports. It's beyond anything. This is about creating jobs and revitalizing this community without displacement and gentrification. So with that said, I want the AASEG team to stand up real quick. I just want to acknowledge everybody and thank you. Thank you. All right. So next up, we want to have the author of the resolution. And of course, after that will be the co-author of the resolution that brought us here, and somebody that we admire. Next up is Vice Mayor Rebecca Kaplan.
Good morning. What a pleasure it is to be here today with all of you. Happy Black History Month and Black Futures Month, as we stand here today to dedicate the future of this site as one of equity and opportunity and one of jobs and freedom. And, you know, the month of February is one in which people often misquote or misuse quotes of Dr. King. And so it is important to keep in mind that the March on Washington, that is commonly referred back to as the March on Washington for Civil Rights, was actually at the time called the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. For jobs and freedom. And that is so important and why we fought so hard to make this opportunity happen. That when we talk about what it means to fight for racial justice, it doesn't just mean to fight for it philosophically. It means to fight for access to actual opportunity, to jobs and freedom. And so what is undertaking here at this site today is a chance to make that real in the world, to make sure that the business opportunity, the job opportunity, the housing opportunity, the revitalization opportunity does not skip over those who it has so often skipped over. And to make sure that we have childcare, thank you very much. To make sure that we have childcare and retail and groceries and banks and drugstores. And we have already successfully approved an Oakland City Council resolution to create a public service center here so that people who need access to city government services can get them also right here in East Oakland and don't have to schlep further to downtown for everything. So that too is part of the opportunity that we are building here with this incredible movement today. And not all the steps were easy. And this was a hard-fought victory. And some said it couldn't be done. And so we are here also to say, yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. That we have nearly 200 acres of land that is on BART, on Freeway, on Capitol Corridor, that is at the heart of the greater Bay Area mega region, that is a place that we can have housing at all income levels, that we can have quality jobs in the community, that we can have sports and entertainment and conventions and retail and opportunity. And that this site can be part of what it means to uplift community in a way that delivers excitement, positive energy, and that delivers tangible opportunity in the community. And I am so thrilled that our council resolution passed. And yes, because what it is that we legislate actually has an impact in the real world. And this is something we fought for at City Hall. And now here we are at this site working to make this a reality. And so I am thankful for this moment, for all of you, for this beautiful day. And I am grateful for the opportunity to move this forward. Thank you for having me, and may we continue to build on this incredible moment. Good morning.
Next up, we have the co-author of our resolution, who is somebody who has been a staunch supporter of job creation, and he's known for so many things that we can't begin to talk about them. But he's somebody that everybody admires. Councilmember Noel Gail.
Thank you. Good morning. It is not about what we say, but what we do. And we're here today. One is to recognize the exclusive negotiated settlement agreement that we have agreed to. It took us, the city council made an approval, but we're finally signing off on it. Let's be real what we're doing here today. So what that means is that the African American Sports and Entertainment, they have 2 years to be able to negotiate, recommend what is going to happen on this land and bring it back to the council. But one of the things that I do want to applaud is that they've been out in the neighborhood meeting with neighbors and organizations to get their input or feedback, including maybe the Oakland A's, to get their feedback in terms of what do we do here on this beautiful site where you have the airport down the street, you have BART here, you have the bus, you have the freeway, and these are millions and millions of dollars that the taxpayer pay for. As a matter of fact, I still have bonds from having the Raiders and the Warriors here that I'm paying for. I still owe millions and millions of dollars, and they won't be paid off until 2 more years. So I say that to you so we clearly understand what we're doing. We have an exclusive negotiated settlement agreement. And this body here is going to try to work with the Oakland A's, hopefully, come together in terms of what can we do to develop on this land. Do I rebuild the arena? Do I rebuild the stadium? Because there's other professional sports that want to come here, right? And I have the group from Switzerland, cricket. They want to do their international tournament here. right? And working with Mr. Henry Gardner, trying to make that happen. But at the same time, I do want to recognize an individual that led me, motivated me to come to this level in my development. And I want to, Robert Bob, man, you got to stand up and be recognized. You see this gentleman, young guys? He was the city manager here in Oakland, and when he had buildings. Yeah. He's the one that knows what's on the ground, above ground, got the groups to come here. It's Mr. Robert Bob. And when he signed up, I said, all we got to do, you know why else? He's the one that built the Washington National Baseball Stadium. He's the one that went to Detroit and other cities to do professional sports. So he really understands the role that we have to play. He has a front seat with the National Football League. So, you know, I just want to recognize and thank him for his leadership. Because when I was a young man like you, he hired me as the Parks and Recreation Director. And you know what he said? He said, well, I'm going to make you Parks and Recreation Director. I never forgot. I'm still doing it, Robert. He said, I'm going to assign you to the area that needs the greatest need, and that's Lake Merritt. You're going to be housed there. Not at City Hall. You're going to be there with we need to have a clean lake and develop the lake. And you know what else he said? Young man, I'm going to assign a pickup truck to you. And every day, you got to come back with a truckload of garbage, whatever you picked up. And I'm going to have you do that pickup so you other supervisors at Parks and Rec can see you doing it. And the neighbors can see you do it, because you know why? He was out there every month helping me do it. All right. Anyways, I want to thank you, Ron, for your leadership and development. I'm extremely grateful to you. And I'm still doing what you directed me to do. All right. But I just want to thank all of you. This is a great opportunity. The question that I get is, what about the Oakland A's? You got to remember that the county and the relationship is there with the A's. But we still have a lawsuit called the Surplus Land Act that's still sitting there. And the reality is, I can't tell you that the A's own that, the Oakland owns this, we own this together. All right, so it's going to take all of us working together to what happens on this property. And this is hopefully that out of the negotiated settlement agreement, we can come back to the council, to the public, and say, this is our priority, what we need to do. And at the end of the day, this is what we're willing to invest in. As a taxpayer, because like I tell you, I'm still paying the bonds, you and I, through our taxes for what's here. So thank you very much. And I look forward to continuing working with you. Thank you. Thank you. Any given day, you can find Noel with that truck with solid garbage. And he cleans up Oakland. He respects Oakland. He loves Oakland. And that's what we all love Oakland. And so much of Oakland gets in a negative light. We love Oakland. We love everything about this whole community. So with that said, we have our District 6 and 7 council members here whose districts intersect in the Coliseum. Right before we heard from them, we have our distinguished council member, Carol Fife, who has been unbelievable. She's a visionary. She's an incredible person. And I just want to thank her so much for being here. So with no further ado, Councilmember Fife.
First of all, I just want to acknowledge how amazing of an organizer that you've been throughout this process, Ray Bobbitt, and the team that you helped to bring together. Ray was my primary point of contact when I was brought into this process. And like Councilmember Kaplan said, this was not an easy victory at all. And one of the first things that I told Ray that I wanted to see as a part of this process was that this was coming from the bottom up, not the top down. So I needed to see, as an organizer, the voices of East Oakland that were going to be a part of this process and call for it and wanted it and desired it. And so every single meeting, I heard Ms. Green. I heard so many voices from Black Oakland saying, this is a project that we support. So it was no question to me the level of organizing that went into making this happen. And so everybody who was there, who was a part of that, to actually show up at city council meetings at ridiculous hours, stay on hold till you got your comments in, thank you. That is what I wanted to see, because so often we get tossed to the side. Other people's water is colder, their ice is colder, their sugar is sweeter. But the voices of Black Oakland, the voices of East Oakland, Black and Brown, and for all of the folks that don't typically have a seat at the table, this is a project for them. And because when we lift up from the bottom, everybody does better. And that is what I wanted to see about this project, and they have shown improved every step of the way. And so when it was hard, the integrity, the character of not getting pulled into fights and still keeping the mission in front of them about what this would do for this part of the city, it's unparalleled. So I'm proud and honored to stand here today for this first step forward, because we're not done yet. And so when we talk about actually doing what's best for our city, it's important that you all tell the aides what you want to see here. Not just that, they have 50%, but this is still an organizing process. And we need to be very clear, because you all made it clear to the city council. But you all also have to make it clear to the aides that this is the type of investment we want to see in our city. This AASEG is what deeply rooted actually means in practice. Not in theory, not in showing up with all these glitzy ways you show up in community, but actually being connected to families, being connected to organizations, and being connected to a mission that will better the city for generations to come. They say, there's an African proverb that says, patience is the mother of a beautiful child. And that is what is given birth to today. A beautiful child of possibility, one that is deserved, one that is earned, and one that we will realize in this city because of the work that was done to make this a reality. I am honored, I am proud, and I have to get to the rules committee because there is still work to do for the city. And I appreciate you all coming out today. I met some new friends, and we're going to keep on making connections and keep on growing this beautiful city of Oakland. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Biden. Next, we just gotta hold on to your seats because this council member is an inspirational speaker, and she is something very special. And I don't even need to introduce it. But no, with no further ado, Eva Reed, Councilmember Reed.
That's our brother, and we love him. So grateful for you, Ray.
Thank you.
This is Black history. This is Black history. We are standing on deeply rooted soil that was built up by our Black community. And so to be in this moment,
Thank you, Mom.
I'm honored, I'm grateful. I truly feel privileged that God called me for such a time as this to be a part of a life-transforming, community-transforming project and in partnership with AASEG. You are a dynamic organization of Black and women-led leaders who come from the soil of Oakland. And so I'm just proud and privileged to be able to be here to speak into this day, into this moment with you all. I represent Deep East Oakland here along with Councilmember Jenkins. I formerly served on the Joint Power Authority for the city and the county for overseeing of this property. I want to acknowledge our Commissioner Chuck Baker, who is also here, who serves and represents our interests and has certainly been a great partner with AASEG in the community. I do want to congratulate AASEG. This did not come easy. It has never come easy for Black people. And it certainly has not been easy for Black developers to build on this land. And so this is a milestone, a significant milestone in Oakland's 171-year history of us transferring public land to an African-American owned company. When the disparity rate in our own city shows that we have contracted with less than 2% Black and women-owned business, feel the weight of this moment and what it represents for our community, for the Black community, for communities of color, for women. And so I'm grateful to be a Black woman leader at this time making sure that I stand in the gap, that I don't only pray, but I put some faith in action and I deliver votes that deliver for us, delivering for those who have been left out, shut out, kept out. That's what East Oakland has been. So to see what people thought would be a black hole invested in with the power of a black financial partner, that is incredible for us. So this Black History Month is not just words, but it truly is action. And I see that East Oakland will rise. East Oakland is rising. East Oakland is rising because of the power of the community. And thank you for hitting the ground. Thank you for driving a community-led force for us to ensure that you were heard, that you were responded to. And while it took some time, we're here. We made it.
Yes, we did.
And this corridor will be invested in through this development with East Oaklanders. Shonda Scott, my District 7, yes, Amber, yes, we got some District 7 people on the team up in here. And so my office is excited to help drive the vision forward. We're excited to deliver on the 30K in OAK, job vision right here. This part of our city is an economic engine, and we want to see the vitality, the economic vitality, the sustained vitality of small businesses and community ownership through this project. We want this development to uplift the pipeline of those jobs, workforce development, school mentor partnerships and internships, deeply affordable housing, generational wealth opportunities, senior and youth services, prioritizing living wage equity and prevailing jobs to sustain our families, community ownership that will empower and sustain Black and Brown residents, and entrepreneurs through this partnership with AASEG and the city and the community at the table. AASEG, you proposed a number of benefits at this site, and I believe that those benefits will fuel the economic engine that drives the development with a path forward to increase equity and opportunity that prioritizes and preserves East Oaklanders, especially our Black and Brown East Oaklanders. And I believe with the strong community and city support, we will uplift local small and Black and Brown and women-owned businesses through this amazing team. We know that there's more that needs to be done, but this is a legacy that I'm proud to stand on with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Reed. We were not good. Well, the next person is just another inspirational person that's brand new to the council. She wasn't going to speak, but we'll say a few words before she has to leave. But this is a person who's part of the future of Oakland and just an incredible person. And so with no further ado, I want to introduce Councilmember Janani Instruction.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
It is an auspicious day. It is a beautiful day. It is a historic moment that I am so honored to share with each and every one of you. I grew up coming to the Coliseum every couple of weeks. There was this magic and energy of taking the BART ride down here to celebrate sports sometimes, to celebrate music, to celebrate culture, community. It was a magical experience that left, unfortunately, so many communities behind. I want to bring and be part of this important work to bring that magic back to Oakland, to put us on the map for the positive culture that has been rooted in this city for generations. When I met Ray and others part of AASEG a couple of years ago, I saw this inspirational vision. And I keep using that word magic because that's what it was. It was this glimmer in their eyes, sharing the future of what could come back to the Coliseum. And when it comes this time, we can do it right. As an Asian American woman, my rights, my freedoms are based on the legacy, on the work, on the struggle of Black people right here in Oakland that fought for my right to be here right now. For my people, it is Black leadership that allowed my family to immigrate to this country, Black leadership that allowed me to vote, let alone run for office. And that legacy is powerful and forgotten. So today is the first of many steps that I see in the future of Oakland of remembering and commemorating that history of being united, of building cross-racial solidarity, of showing that Asians and Latinos and Black people can work together to honor the history of this town and move all of us upward together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was, again, I told you this, our council is so inspirational. Our council is dynamic. Next, there is recently District 6 is now, the Coliseum is now going to be in District 6. And it is appropriate for one of the people from this community to be in a position to work together with our District 7 council person who has been in this community with their family for so long. But this gentleman is dynamic. He's unbelievable. So many people respect him in our community. He's exciting, and he's just a breath of fresh air with respect to what's to come in this city. So I'll quit introducing him and pumping him up, and I'll let him come here and talk to you directly. Please give it up for Councilmember Jenkins.
Thank you so much, Ray. Happy Black History Month, everyone. This is a wonderful day for East Oakland, and this is a wonderful day for Oakland as a whole. I see so many of my elders here and so many of the next generation here to support this vision and support East Oakland moving forward. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the person who gave me my first job. He's standing there in the back, Bishop Hayden from St. John Missionary Baptist Church. And Bishop Hayden, he wasn't an easy boss. Some people got fired. And I saw you drinking the soda back there, Bishop Hayden. This means so much to this community that's been deprived of resources for generations, that's been underinvested in for generations as well. When I was running for office, Paul Cobb gave me a call. He gave Ray a call. And you guys know Paul Cobb, and he missed his mark as being a comedian. Paul Cobb is a very funny guy, right? Paul Cobb was serious as a heart attack with me, that I needed to support this project, and he needed to know that I was serious about supporting this project. I've never seen him so serious. He's laughing now, but I've never seen him so serious. And this project has my full commitment. I told Ray this project, I am deeply invested, and I will do everything I can to ensure that this is successful. And I know it's cold out here. We're gonna get it going, guys. So there's billions of dollars of infrastructure that are coming right here to this spot. We have BART, we have AC Transit, we have the freeways, we have the airport coming right here. And this offers an opportunity for economic development right here. It offers an opportunity for East Oaklanders to get much needed jobs. We've lost tens of thousands of Black residents in our city, and it is a state of emergency. And hopefully with this project, we can stop the bleeding. I want to thank my council colleagues for their diligence in delivering the votes needed to get this done. And I want to say to everyone here, this job is not done. We are celebrating now, but there's still much work to do. So we need to be locked hand in arm and ensuring that we march this to the finish line, and so that Black people still have a say in what goes on in the city. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Councilmember Jenkins. As I said, just, on and on, we have such great leadership in our city. I think it's we are heading in a new direction. And, as much as you can't see it immediately, I think we are all in a position where we will see it very clearly. And so one of the things that we talked about was the infrastructure. And so we want to make sure that we have an opportunity for our representative. Would you like to say a couple words, Mr. Ray? Thank you, Robert Rayburn. Yeah. Director Rayburn from BART.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Robert Rayburn. I'm honored to both live in East Oakland and to represent East Oakland. BART connects the entire Bay Area to the Coliseum. As well, I chair the Capital Corridor, and our plans are to grow. The Capital Corridor connects from Placer County through Sacramento all the way down to San Jose. And we will continue to connect. I am so grateful to see each of you here today. I want to thank the African American Sports and Entertainment Group for your hard work. We've met many times to talk about, and it over and over since probably 2012. It was talk, but you've brought it to where we're ready to make it a reality. We're going to do it this time. Why? Because we have the support from the entire city council. Thank you to the council members and mayor. Let it be known that Bart is a serious promoter of this project. We want to see this happen. The Coliseum's been in decline for too long. We've watched our ridership here drop off as sports teams leave or sports teams disinvest. We can reinvest. We can build the community. And that's where we will go with this project. And this is a project that brings the investment into East Oakland and will allow all of Oakland to be proud and prosper. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Rayburn. Now, next, I want to bring somebody to the stage that just got inducted into the Oakland Tech Hall of Fame. Former WNBA player and Oakland basketball legend. Please come to the stage, Miss Alexis Gray. This is our moment to talk about our prize project of bringing the WNBA to Oakland. And we just want to make sure that we get the proper representation, and nobody better to represent that than Miss Alexis Gray.
Good morning. It's an honor to be here for so many reasons. I want to start by saying I'm a product of here, right? I grew up in West Oakland, and I used to go to EOIDC and travel on the bus every single day in order to get after school programming, right? I'm a product of the Rainbow Center on Seminary, right? Popular Park. So we had all these different opportunities for me to be who I am. First of all, my name is Dr. Alexis Gray Lawson. And to me, that's special for a lot of different reasons, because they say kids like us can't do anything, right? We just out here being crazy. But there's so many like me that have had the opportunity to be great representations of Blackness here in Oakland, right? My first opportunity to actually see a basketball game was here at the Coliseum, like most young people. I got to watch the Warriors, not the new Warriors, but Steph. But when they had Byron Davis, who was one of my favorite players, being able to watch him and develop as a basketball player who I was going to be. After I'm a product of Oakland Tech, I went to Oakland Tech, graduated there, went to Berkeley, and had an incredible time in the WNBA. And everybody always talks about my journey and how I got to this space. But it was the village that got me to this space, right? Go ahead. My mother worked tireless nights where she couldn't be with me all the time. So it was the next door neighbor or the people down the street that was making sure that I was doing what I needed to do to be successful. And Councilman Marie doesn't know this, but one of the reasons actually I got back into Oakland Tech was because of her. I actually went and watched her speak at a city council. She was getting in everybody. And I remember just I want to feel that. Like, I wish everybody could feel that. And so having the opportunity to come back into OUSD as an educator of our African American Female Excellence Program in Oakland has been extraordinary in so many different ways. And because of that, so many great products have come out of Oakland Tech, which we know of Marshawn and Joshua Johnson, it's in Devon A. Hampton, and so many incredible young people that continue to impact us, including our two-time state champion girls basketball team right out of Oakland, California. So I'm hoping that we can really bring a WNBA team here for so many reasons. One, so that we can be represented, because our young girls need that. They need to be able to see it. They need to be able to feel it. It's one reason why I came back, because there were so many people that poured into me. It's my opportunity and it's my time to pour into this community. So anything that I can do to make that happen, we're going to do that. And so now we're creating programs like Family First, like Legacy, to be able to be more impactful in our communities. And so by having this WNBA team is special. So I know that you guys see these flyers. If you get an opportunity, please go ahead and scan those flyers so that we can get a team here. If you're not and you're looking over, go to WNBA or OaklandWNBA.com to be able to sign up and take care of it. But thank you guys so much for being here, and happy Black History Month.
So what a inspirational day. And man, it's like emotional, you know, to really think about the opportunities that we all have and that we can create here. And so it's you know, something that we all are striving for. So we're so grateful to so many people to come out to watch a press conference. It just gives you an idea of just kind of everybody's interest and everybody's rooting for this. So just again, so grateful for everyone. Miss Egypt wanted to come up for a moment and present a plaque to the AASEG. So go ahead.
Let me get again. Happy Black History Month. All right. And today is a day no one ever thought would really happen. And look where we are. Give it up, you guys. Give it up for AASEG and the city council members, such as Noel. Yeah, I've been on the bandwagon with that truck. That's right. I've been dumping garbage too. And making my little one dump garbage too. That is so real. Legendary. Never stopped doing it. Still doing it. Passionate. Everybody like, this man is serious about this city. This man is serious about his district. He does not stop. Rain, sleet, or snow, that man is out there making it happen. And I am so serious. And I'm a witness to it because these hands here have picked up a mini trash and helped him and going to keep helping him. Okay? I'll give it up for him because I really appreciate him. And another person that I really appreciate, his family and the family of the Oakland Post News Group. I just want to give it up to Mr. Cobb and Ms. Gay Cobb for keeping him together. And yes, he is a comedian, oh boy, and he's ragged on me. That Papa right there ragged on me. I like to give it up to Jonathan. This young man right here does so much for the Oakland Post. And the up-and-coming, formerly incarcerated, giving back, Mr. Richard Johnson, you guys. Phenomenal guy. Phenomenal guys, really doing a lot in this community. But we here are representing a few organizations. The Oakland Tribe, who's doing wonderful work in the community. The Oakland Gumbo Cultural Group, and ROCKS, Restore Our City Services. Today we're here to represent a new foundation called Big Mama's Best Foundation, which has to do with my mother who's recently passed, who was a Black Panther, an Eastern Star, a member of BAP, Bay Area Arterial Press. She was somebody in the trenches that would get it out the mud, get it from the curb. She done it. And we're here to give back to AASEG, somebody that she looked forward to taking that baton and do what they did as Black Panthers and make it better for Oakland. Okay? And they're really doing it. Samantha Wise, the niece of Beverly Darrensburg Axe, Big Mama's niece right there. That's right. And Jonathan, somebody that my mother prayed for all the time, helped him with his family members. That old lady did a lot for a lot of people. She was the big mama for a lot of folks. And she prayed for Ray and them to make this day happen, and it happened. And I just want to thank God, first of all, and give it up for Big Mama, Beverly Darrensburg Axe. This award is being given to AASEG
This certificate is presented to you and your agency as an official member of the Big Mama's Best Foundation for participating and contributing in Big Mama's Best Memorial and Bereavement Fund. When he said that he dealt with 50 different organizations, they actually did that. When I say they got it from the mud and went to the curb, they dealt with the children, the middle-aged folks, and the seniors. They did that. AAG reached out and touched the many individuals in this community to make sure that their presence was known and that they were there not just to be a drive-by, but to help. And they've helped so many organizations and so many community members who otherwise wouldn't even be recognized. Okay, and they've done that. So this certificate acknowledges your agency's commitment for serving community and recognizing your amplified leadership and outstanding outreach throughout the city of Oakland and the surrounding cities. This is for AASEG. Can you guys please stand up, AASEG? This is for you. Recognize them, guys, because they're making it happen for Oakland. All right, there you go. All right, thank you. All right.
Thank you so much. Wait a minute, I'll get a picture.
Get a picture of us. Come on back. Come on. Don't you, little man? All right, man. That's it.
Right. I'm gonna put Ray in the center, right?
Okay, there you go. Get the center.
Look at that thought.
I want to make sure I represent Bishop Mario Gaines. He had to step out, but he's one of our officers for Big Mama's Best Foundation.
Slide in.
Okay.
Right next to Mario. Yeah, right I'm gonna be lobbying for you. There you go.
Hey, sir.
All right.
Yes. Come on, Papa, get in there. That's right. That's our guy. That's right. To go to. There we go. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we're coming into the question and answer session. But before we do that, we have a couple of people in our group, John Jones and Samantha Wise, that were just incredible speakers. I'm just getting called that I got to move to the questions and answers, but it would be incredible for them to have it. You want to just have a few words real quick? All right. Come on.
Oakland! I said Oakland! Town business! I promise I'll be quick. I'm a Jones. Those of you who know me know I can run. I can talk. I want to say something to me in this moment. Let this be the moment to serve as inspiration and motivation. There is a lot that's going on in the world, a lot going on locally. And a lot of times those news are bad news. They're traumatizing. But I'm here to tell you, I'm here to testify that there are good things and great things about life. I'm going to say this thing real quick. As someone from Deep East Oakland, grew up on 92nd and Highly in Section 8 housing, on welfare and food stamps. As someone, a high school dropout, formerly incarcerated. I was in juvenile hall, Santa Rita, California Youth Authority, state prison. Someone who came home and was homeless and unemployed for 18 months. Why am I sharing that? Because I'm here today. No matter what you are going through in your life, you may not understand what's at the end of it. But I promise you, I'm here to testify. There is something great at the end of it. Just commit yourself to make sacrifices and work hard and connect with people who got your best interests at heart. Because at the end of the day, for us to get to where we at, it requires us, each other. Peace and blessings. Somebody's going to collect the plate around.
He says in the collection plate, where we gonna put your hat? So, hey, Black History Month. Y'all say Black History. What we're doing today is making history. This is going to go down in the record books of Oakland and everywhere else. This is where it starts. Everybody else is going to mimic everything that we do in Oakland. So we want to make sure we're going to do it right. We're going to negotiate with the A's peacefully. We're going to come. I'm saying peacefully because I got people behind. But the same thing and this is what I want to say. I've heard magical. I've heard from the bottom up. We're in this together. And they said trenches. If we come together, there's nothing that can stop us. We don't want to be pitting one group against the other group. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep God at the forefront of everything. And we have each other. Y'all hear me? Do we have your support? Y'all gonna be good out on the street? Okay, so they said, yes, ma'am. I am a ma'am. Y'all call me a ma'am though. But no, Oakland community, from the kids, from the bottom, from the trenches, it's magical. We're gonna create the magic. The bright light is gonna shine up over Oakland. If you with me, say Oakland. That's it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Samantha and John. Again, we want to thank everybody. We have a special guest up here, is Larry Gallegos from the city. I'm sure, I don't know if you want to speak or not, Larry, but Larry Gallegos is the person that helped us negotiate the process. So Larry, why don't you say a word?
Thank you, Ray. Today is really a momentous day for me, just because of the years that we've been actually planning this type of a project here at this site. But I want to also take the time to thank council for their leadership and their support in all this effort. And especially Ray, since first time we met, he came to us and he wanted to know, how would we get a project like this built here? And I told him, Ray, you need the support of the community behind you. The only way to get anything done is to get the support of all the folks that represent this area. And he did just that. And so I was really amazed that they were able to assemble such a supportive group of folks behind them. And I think that's what got them past this entire process. So today is very important, not only for them, but for us. And I also want to thank a few folks from AASEG. Where's Rufus at? Rufus Williams? Rufus. I want to thank Loop Capital for their support. Rufus, there you are. I want to thank Loop Capital for their support and believing in Oakland. Also want to thank Shonda Scott. I don't know. Hey, Shonda. Bill Duffy, absolutely, Bill Duffy. And then I don't know if Alan's back here. Is Alan? I haven't seen. Hey, there he is. Hey, Alan. Alan is such a leader. He has such a great vision for this site. And I am so excited that they are bringing on all of this support from the community to develop that vision. Also want to thank the county for their support as well, and also BART, and of course the Oakland A's. So thank you, folks. Thanks again.
All right. Well, again, can't thank everybody enough for coming and supporting us. The Lincoln University football team came out in force. Very, very appreciative. And Sandra Varner, my sister, we're going to make sure we give her a shout out. The Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce would like to just say one brief word, and that'll be and we'll wrap up.
Just like when people at a banquet and they're ready to eat and you're the last thing. So I stand here with our new chairman of the board, Chadwick Spells. When Ray first asked us, a lot of people didn't know. We sent a support letter. We knew about all the things that was going on. And like my sister Sam says, now we're here. We give 100 support to Ray Bobbitt. And it's time for us to come together as a community. We're here now. We got to put our differences apart and put our town back on the map. We're already there, but we're going straight to the top. And then I'll defer to my chairman really quickly here.
For me, I just want to say, I've been waiting on this. I came out here from South Carolina in 94. I currently live right on MacArthur in 94. I'm in DPs. Yeah, I ain't no territory. That's right. That's my member right there. You know, that's my dog. So, enough being said, I am so proud that this project and the chamber, the Oakland African American Chamber, is behind this project 100%. And anything the small businesses, you guys, the developers need, we got you. We will have your back, 100%. Period.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, with that said, we're going to open it up for questions from the media. Yeah.
What developments, what vector can you
So that was a question of other than major sports, what other developments can, help to support the community being built here? Obviously, we have a long way to go with a site vision, but the way we see it is that this can become sort of like a city inside of a city to some degree. And it would be, I think 20 different development footprints. So we're talking about, everything from hotels to, housing, sports complexes, youth sports, public administration, so on and so forth. So just a combination of things that will really help our community and create jobs. So that's the short version of the plan. Yes, sir.
Are you going to make sure that formerly incarcerated and those that are living on the streets get an opportunity for affordable housing to be built, some close to almost 100% affordable, and where the jobs can be promised to formerly incarcerated residents of East Oakland?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be something that would be a priority. Clearly this is, I think somebody said earlier that probably one of the most effective tools of crime prevention is education and employment. And so employment, if we can put people to work, that's the goal, and so this, a development of this magnitude, would clearly create a tremendous amount of jobs, but more importantly, we can start now, as we go through, like Noel said, we have, just about 2 years to really plan everything through. And this can include training so that once we do get to a point where we can move forward, that our community will be prepared. And so that's a really important question, and it's something that we are going to absolutely execute on. The question was, are we going to make sure that we create opportunities for formerly incarcerated during the development, and are we going to have, affordable housing? Next question. Do you have any additional questions? I think that, that's obviously not something that I can go directly into, but clearly, there are going to be a lot of opportunities for different resources as they come to the table. And, there's nothing more precious and important than our children. And so I think that what we will do is maybe we could talk offline and we can figure out some different immediate ways to get access to certain resources, because there are, resources that are out there. But let's talk offline so we can, after this, so I can kind of go through a process of trying to figure out exactly how we can incorporate that closely and immediately.
And I'm very concerned about this warehouse, have this drop in where these young people come sign up and they homeless. And then they don't have nothing else to do afterwards. I see them at Rainbow. I volunteer in my community a lot. I do a lot of stuff with Dope Air for Christmas. I deal with them on that level on ankle monitors, taking them into my home, not even getting paid. I had 5 homeless teenagers that was in the system. So I'm kind of concerned about our youth that's around here. What kind of program you guys gonna have for them, especially ankle monitors?
One of the, just for a quick information, then we'll respond to that. You got to remember that this area represents 120 acres. That's really important to recognize, 120 acres. But when you look at Howard Terminal, it's 55. Right? And not only is this site available, but the Raiders training facility, we're in the process of negotiating and developing or selling it or leasing that at the same time. Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hi, Alex
Sorry.
Simon, Bay Area News Group. You
Yes.
guys have talked about kind of what's going on with the A's, and
Yes.
they own half of this. They also, I believe yesterday, were in Las Vegas looking at potential stadium options there. Can you kind of give us an update as to where you guys are with discussions about this site with the A's?
Yeah, so our first deliverable, we're excited to get into that process, and our first deliverable is to actually, come up with a cooperation agreement with them of some kind. And so we don't have any understanding or knowledge of their plans or anything like that, but we're just focused on trying to come up with a solution that will make sure that this site can be properly developed as quickly as possible.
Reverend Dr. Jasper Lowry, I also can equate with what this brother was saying, because born in West Oakland, raised in East Oakland and North Richmond, this Bay Area has had my heartstring for the 61 years I've been on the earth. And we find it a little difficult as independent operators that's connected to the system to get the support from the system to continue our work and our efforts on the street.
How you doing, man?
I've done street outreach, violence prevention with Measure Y. I've done a lot of things for the system, for the city, for the county. But a lot of that has been done for my own individual organization. Primarily on mental health, 38 years, my background. So when I'm dealing with reentry and ex-offenders, I'm coming from a mental health perspective, behavior modification, replacement behavior. I'm doing all the tricks I learned in the trade, running day programs for developmentally disabled. I took everything and applied it to my work, and then God called me. So I answered that door, used those background histories to connect with my neighborhood and the youth, having a 30-year-old son. And he's kind of like, a little taller than me, a little bit more radical than me. I'm in Reed's district before she get off that platform. So you might need to connect me with her, link to talk to her, get that ear. Yeah. Because we need to fix this building up I've been holding since 2012. That's a pillar of the community. We've done everything from food bank giveaways. We've done so much, but it seems like when I turn around and try to get support, my paper isn't shiny enough. Right. Or I don't have the right names attached. Right. Or somebody just looks at me like, I don't know, maybe he's just another brother. I don't know. I don't want to just be another brother. I want to be where I'm supposed to be, because I'm at everything, and a lot of y'all know me. Yeah. And I'm on the block every day. And now I'm doing job recruitment for the West Oakland Job Resource Center. I done been in every tent, encampment. I done been in every sleep-in car and motorhome around here, trying to drag them out, those that are ready to go back and start careers. So I need your support. I need your help. Yeah. I need to know what's outside of the Coliseum where you'll be supporting as well. And that's my question. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so thank you. That's a great question. And obviously being from here, born and raised on 80th between Plymouth and Holly, that's me. And so just everything that we're doing here is, like we said, we've met with 50 organizations before we even started. Our entire approach is to help change this community. That's it. I mean, that's our objective. It's simple. And so I'd be happy to connect with you offline as well. And definitely, figure out some ways to continue to work together. I think, do we have a question from Zoom, I believe? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Can you just speak to the status of the WNBA expansion bid as of today?
Yes. Marissa, of course. So where we are specifically is that we are, Elena Beard is leading that project. And yes, Oakland's got next, Alexis. So that she's leading that project. She is very close to getting to a point where there could be a proposal submitted. The league was initially saying December of last year, but now that's been expanded out because I think that they've changed the dynamics of the expansion process. So we're just waiting at this point. We're kind of, we've talked a little bit about it, but you'll be the first to know as soon as we submit. Do we have any other questions?
I just have one question. Since the sale of the interest is split between the city of Oakland and Alameda County, the $84 million Alameda County sold their portion of interest for, will any part of that $85 million remain in East Oakland, and what can we do to make sure it does? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that because that's the county's portions, we're not necessarily privy to it. So I don't want to, answer a question I'm not sure about, but I think we should research that. I think that's important for our community to know. So that's a good question. I think we had let's see, as we had a question from Zoom. And this question was, will you continue to meet with community groups as this process moves forward? And that would be absolutely yes. We'll have to, we will have to put together a, community benefits agreement. There'll be a long process that many community people will be engaged in. So that'll be a process that we'll work really hard on. Yes, some of the things that we could do is try to figure out ways to allow for people who have been or moved from Oakland in the last 20 years to have priority. That would be ideal. Clearly we are about revitalization. And so, Amber, I know that we've talked about that a lot, and those are the type of things that we want to do. So, so I think that was the last question from Zoom. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up today. And we're going to give a special thank to Mama Tarika Lewis, first woman in the Black Panther Party. So thank you to her, and and Higher Ground and all of our partners. So we want to thank everybody for coming today. Make sure you get all those pastries back there and some coffee. It was kind of a little bit chilly out here today, but again, thank you so much. This is a great way to kick off Black History. We're so proud of this community and so proud of our team. And so with that said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Wow. So anyway, that was strange because they didn't address any questions on Zoom. I asked the only question on Zoom. In fact, I have a shot of it, and I'll present it by showing it here. If you can see that, okay. I'll make it close. It says, Ray, the NFL commissioner, laughed when I asked him about AASEG trying to bring NFL back to the Coliseum. Now that you have the NFA, what do you say to the NFL? That's my question. The question about the community, he said, was from Zoom, wasn't from Zoom at all. At all. So so anyway, let me take your questions here. Says they're going to do something at the old Raiders Coliseum. Well, they will. I mean, it could either take the plan has always been to tear it down and build something else. And I suspect that will still be the plan. Now, that's not to say that they could shift gears and decide to refurbish it, which I think is, equally doable and perhaps better considering economic times. Eric Sterling says, I'm sorry, Zenny, these people are so incompetent. There's no way any sports franchise will come to Oakland and deal with these people. Guy, help Oakland. Why do you say that, Eric? My point is, how do you know that they're incompetent? And I'm going to say, are you saying they're incompetent because they're Black? All right. I'm one of the top candidates for Oakland City Administrator, according to LinkedIn. So I decided, hey, I'll apply. And I did. I would stack what I know, what I've done, and what I'm capable of doing against any candidate. All right. And behind the scenes, I've helped Ray Bobbitt in the past. Okay. But so I don't know what you say when you say incompetent. When I made that statement to current staff, or Howard Terminal, I was very pointed in why I said that. I wasn't being insulting intentionally. I was trying to make the point that there were key actions they were not doing to move Howard Terminal forward that if I were put in charge of Howard Terminal, I would do in a second. All right. So my point is, when you say incompetent, what do you mean? All right. And McLovin says, please tell me they got the baseball stadium done first. That is a long process. McLovin, how you doing? You're not the real McLovin. Eric Stern says, all of the members on that stage are responsible for Oakland decline. None of them have any business savvy. The WNBA is nowhere near any expansion. They're in trouble existing cities, all of them full of it. But Eric, what you have to do, though, is let me see if I can get Ray on here myself, because it would be nice to see if I can get a hold of him.
Please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Ray, this is Zinni. I'm on my live stream. Folks who have questions. The Zoom question that you raised was not actually the Zoom question that was written, and I was the only person actually have written a question, and the question was about NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell saying, hey, or chuckling when I said the AASEG was working to bring the NFL back to Oakland, and what do you say to the NFL Commissioner now, right? Just wanted to know that wasn't there. Anyway, 510-517-7565. Thank you. So, okay. Eric says, no, Zinni, I'm not saying that I'm black. I'm just tired of seeing some things not getting done in Oakland. And I'm right there with you. I am too, because, and unfortunately, from that perspective, this is another example of that. There's a lot of testifying about what people are going to do, but I prefer to look at that this way. Ray Bobbitt did it. He got an ENA. He represents the first black development team in Oakland's history to secure an exclusive negotiating agreement for the Coliseum. So if you want to look for signs of progress, that's one big one, okay? Now, that simply means they got the politics right. But as you and I do both know in Oakland, the problem is implementation. So you can have your political ducks in a row, but then for reasons of bureaucratic morass, guess what? These problems of lack of bad implementation rear their head again and again and again. So I understand what you're saying entirely, but when I look at the elected officials, I don't see them as part of the problem. The part of the problem is that overall is an Oakland mindset. And he says, I'll get to it. He says, why can't they get behind the A's deal at Howard Terminal? Because the problem with Howard Terminal is that no one, including the athletics, completely understand in the Oakland parlance what they're trying to do. Let me give you an example. All right, so if they don't understand it, then they can't figure out ways to explain it that the community can get behind. Let me give you an example. In 2021, Oakland Athletics president Dave Cobble came out and said, hey, we're going to build $12 billion, all right? $12 billion of project at Howard Terminal. And before that, he said the economic impact was going to be $12 billion. which he confused with construction. Construction of something and its cost is not the economic impact. All right. But the biggest mistake that he made was that he said, look, well, he didn't follow up and explain what the tax increment would be. The tax increment can go to fuel affordable housing, to help businesses out of the pandemic, and for other uses, like, for example, Head Start, as per Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District law in California. All right. So that's a big problem. Okay. So that's leads to why also, if they can't describe that and they're still trying to get their heads around how, for example, tax increment financing work, because the city didn't know, by admission of Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf, she said, we didn't really understand this redevelopment thing, as she put it. Then the option for the athletics is to seek a civic venue that is ran by people on its municipal government side who understand how to get projects like this done. All right. He says, Zinni, do you see the new city mayors reaching out to you to help? Well, she did behind the scenes, but Shane didn't want anyone to know about our meeting. She wanted me to instruct her regarding how Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District legislation worked in the Oakland parlance, where she wanted to do a citywide ENA. And she wanted to understand tax increment financing, but she said she didn't want people to know about the meeting. And I chafed at that. And then she gave me a couple of what I call homework assignments, but she didn't want to pay me to do them. But she was willing to pay a white consultant to do work that I can do better. I have 37 years of experience. So I talked about it. You know, I don't know what the purpose of that meeting was. I don't know if she expected me to come out and say, you know, I will support you, or excuse me, that, you know, or just back her in the expectation I was going to get something. But that's not the right thing to do. That's not how I work or anybody else. It's an insult to my professional capability. All right. But I did apply for the city administrator job. Does that mean I don't get it? Because of the politics? Probably not. But according to LinkedIn, I am a top candidate. I'm a top candidate for jobs in economic development in Pullman, Washington, and in Corpus Christi, Texas as well. All right. He says, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, I mean, look, I'll put it on the table since this is Black History Month, and it came out on the line in Black Panther. Okay. And the line is simply that African Americans are never seen as being able to accomplish what they know that they can do. That's actually a line in Black Panther 2. That's actually a line in Black Panther 2 for two reasons. A, it's true. B, every Black person of some talent has always experienced, and also from someone of another Black person, it's the other thing we don't talk about, that person telling you why you can't do something. I mean, even had someone tell me today, well, you can't do that job of city administrator. And I this is a person who should know. So I had to go back over my history. And they recanted. So my point is, that is what I'm talking about with respect to me. Now, with respect to this project, that's an entirely different story. All right. Here is what Ray Bobbitt has to do to get this moving. And his team. They have to establish a plan that starts, first of all, with financing. It's one thing to have organizational structure. It's one thing to have boxes that say, we go from here, here, and here. But it's another to say we have the financing plan already developed, and here it is. And here's how we're going to implement it. Because that requires the hard work of determining what's going to go into the project, what their tax increment throw-off is going to be if you're using tax increment financing, or even what it could be, what the financing is going to be for the private structures, and who's the more likely to do that financing, what government incentives are in place to help achieve those objectives, what infrastructure changes need to be developed to achieve those objectives as well. All right. Eric says, can you see the Raiders ever coming back to Oakland and Bobbitt builds the stadium? No, because of their commitments to Las Vegas. Now, does that mean they could break them? The Raiders have a history of doing that sort of thing. Sure. But I don't expect that they'll do it in this instance for gigantic reason. The Raiders are now worth $5 billion. And arguably they would have been worth just a little bit less in the Oakland parlance. The Raiders are at a place where if they play their cards right, maybe we won't win all the games, but they can build a terrific economic engine for themselves. Like the Lakers right now. The Lakers are not winning, but they're one of the league's most valuable, NBA's most valuable, if not most valuable franchises. Same is true for the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL. So the question is, can Oakland build itself to a point where it establishes that kind of place to build that kind of sports organization? I think it can. And Mark already talked about, in Las Vegas. It is. But see, look, Mark didn't go over there for that. He went there for sponsorships and activation. He also went there because Sheldon Adelson ponied up $750 million that he couldn't get anyplace else to build a first-class NFL stadium capable of hosting a Super Bowl, which it will do next year. All right? So that's it. I thought we'd get some Q&A questions. I'm sorry that didn't happen. It's not my fault. Subscribe to Zoni62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com. That ends this broadcast.